am just drying off my steaks here. These are actually pork steaks, but we're going to be cooking them like they were any other beef steak. And we're going to sear these off to perfection. They are going to be amazingly delicious. Welcome back to Cooking at Pam's Place. Thank you so much for stopping by. But before we get started, if you want to learn how to make all kind of homemade food and dishes, easy, simple, made from scratch, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you won't miss anything. And then come with me. I'll show you what to do. Okay, so dry off your meat, whatever cut of meat you have, if you are going to sear it. Because if you don't, it's going to actually steam, not sear. These are pork steaks, large pork steaks. They have wonderful marbling in them. They are going to be amazing. So first thing first, like I said, dry them off and dry them off good. I'm going to grab some more paper towels because this one is just about soaked. And I have some plastic wrap on the bottom of my, or on the top of my cutting board here. It just makes for easy cleanup. So give me a second, let me grab some more paper towels and I will be right back. Okay, they are pretty much dried off now. This other side one more time here. Now, one thing when you're searing off meat first, be aware of the seasonings you're putting on them. You really don't want to use too much of, or at all, in my case, I don't like to use at all, any seasoning that has a powder to it, like garlic powder, onion powder, because when you're searing at a high heat, those will burn and they'll burn fast. So instead of getting that nice golden crust on there, you'll have hot spots and burnt spots because those powders burn. So try to stick to salt, pepper, or any seasoning that does not have a powdery consistency to it. So the only thing I'm putting on mine, I have an all-purpose seasoning here that does not have the powders of garlic and onion in it. I will be cooking it with garlic, so I will have that flavor in there. And if you wanted to add some onion to your skillet while you're basting, you could do that too. So I'm going to season these really well on both sides. Pat it in, just rub the seasoning in a little bit as well. I'm also going to be using rosemary and butter. We're searing these off just like it was a beef steak. Make sure when you're putting your seasonings on, you get a good coverage on there. We are going to rub this in, and then we're going to let it hang out for a few minutes while we get our skillet heated up. And speaking of skillets, a cast iron skillet is by far the best skillet for searing. But if you don't have a cast iron skillet, the next go-to is going to be a stainless steel skillet. Once you have your seasonings on there, go ahead and pat it in like I'm doing now so that it can get really all into the crevices and everything. It's going to be amazing. Don't forget to flip them over and do the other side. So I'm going to get the rest of this all seasoned up. Then we're going to head to the stove. So make sure your skillet is good and hot. Then go ahead and add in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom of your skillet, whatever size that is. Now, so that we can make sure we sear these steaks and not steam them, we're doing one at a time. That skillet needs to be piping hot. If you don't hear that sizzle, your skillet is not hot enough. Now to get that good crust on there, don't touch it. Just let it sear. Let it sear, let it sear. Now we should be ready to flip it over. Beautiful. Look at that crust. Look at that crust. That's what you want. That's what you want. Now go in with your butter right on the side. 3 cloves of garlic. Couple of pieces of rosemary. As that butter starts to melt, you want to baste. You can even put some of this on top of it while that butter is melting, that garlic and rosemary right on top, so that you have plenty of room to baste. And you just want to keep basting this while it cooks on the other side. Let that butter melt. And that's going to impart that flavor. And then let it sear on that side. We are all done. Doesn't this look amazing? Oh my goodness. Now, because this is not beef steak, this is a pork steak, you want to make sure you cook it to an internal temperature of at least 145 degrees Fahrenheit. So get your thermometer out if you need to, but make sure your pork is done. This is not a beef steak where you can eat it rare or medium rare. You want your pork to be done. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me. Yes, we are getting ready to taste this. Oh my goodness. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you won't miss anything. Oh my goodness. And let me say this. For all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming and always hanging out with me. And to my channel members, thank you so much for your loyal, faithful support. Just wanted to say that a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut into this and see how it's, oh my goodness, it is cutting like butter. Look at it, still nice and juicy. Look at that. See that juice in there? Oh my goodness. And the flavor from the garlic, the rosemary, the butter. This is amazingly delicious. Oh my goodness. And it slices so easy, just like butter. Oh my goodness. I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Oh my goodness.